Hi Rosy friends, it's Julie, and today, since you can see that my face is such a disaster from having just had a kind of unpleasant reaction to using a new product, I thought that this, and because, you know, I even have just an ugly old pimple on my chin from wearing sunscreen so much on my face, I thought that this would be a really good time for a first impression of a concealer product, because this would really be putting it to the test. And this is a Physicians Formula Conceal RX. It says Physician Strength Concealer. It is from the Physicians Formula company. You've seen me try their concealers before, just because every time they put out something new, I always just get drawn in and I just have to try it out to see. I don't know, it's got such an appeal. So I have this twin one with the green on one side and the sort of beigey color on the other one. I have this stick one that looks like a lipstick of some kind. I even have this powdered version that has a lot of green in it that you put that on as well. So I've tried all of these before, and when I was shopping I spotted this one the other day and I thought, well, I may as well try this one too, because why leave this one out when I've tried everything else that brand seems to have in green. And since I've got both rosacea redness going on and a pimple, I thought, well, this could be helpful to people with rosacea and with acne for that matter, so we'll just really give this a go. This one says it is concentrated for maximum coverage, maximum comfort, ultra long wear, natural smooth finish, no mask effect. All those sound awesome to me. I will be trying this out. I will be doing some other things, and then I'll even be heading out for a little while and coming back. If I have any reactions to this after the video that aren't in the video, I will make some note of it either on the screen when I edit the video or in the description box, which is below. This one specifically says that it covers blemishes, scars, birthmarks, age, spots, rosacea, and hyperpigmentation. So that sounds good considering everything I've got going on here. I just really didn't want to be on camera like this, but I thought, no, I've got this. These are my rosy friends. They will accept me for my red splotchy face, and I will give this a try, and this will really be a great test for it. It is in the color soft green, and it says it lasts up to 12 hours. It says it is hypoallergenic, fragrance-free, and non-comedogenic. To use it, it says gently squeeze tube to dispense concealer, apply a small dot of soft green concealer, and blend to color correct reddish skin imperfections such as blemishes and scars. Next, gently pat, do not rub, a Physicians Formula foundation to cover green for flawless finish. Powder lightly for lasting coverage. Okay, so I will also use, fortunately, I have Physicians Formula products as well, like their foundation, their mineral wear, so I will put that on top to follow the directions exactly as it said. Good thing I read that on screen, because I clearly didn't read that before starting this video. It says it's high intensity pigments allow concealer in soft green to gently hide reddish imperfections such as blemishes, but also scars, rosacea, burns, hyperpigmentation, and birthmarks without a mask effect. High-tech concentrated yet smooth formula offers full and comfortable coverage, allowing skin to breathe and letting your natural beauty shine through. It is a stay-put formula. Non-oily and non-drying formula glides on smoothly to a semi-matte finish for all-day wear, provides maximum coverage, smooth application, and comfortable wear that lasts up to 12 hours. It shows these pictures of all these people who have all of their various types of skin redness and how they've been able to cover it up with this stuff. So that would be awesome. And it even says that this is what it's like after 8 hours. That second picture was after 8 hours, so that's pretty interesting. I think I paid around $11 for this. So I'm just gonna bust into the box, and it comes in this little tube which sticks out further than the box, so it makes a horrible noise coming out. But there we go. So it's in a little tube that looks like this. Just says soft green Physicians Formula. I was actually hoping that that actually bugs me a little bit. I was hoping that with all this space like this, they would put the directions, which are very small. I mean, they've got, the directions are just like a part of this little paragraph here. If they would have put that onto here, then I wouldn't have to keep this handy all the time, so that I don't forget how to do it, because it's, I mean, it has things that it specifically says like don't rub and all that kind of stuff, and I tend to do everything wrong when it comes to cosmetics. So that's kind of frustrating that they didn't put the directions directly onto the package, because it would be nice to be able to throw this away. But I will keep this handy anyway because I normally do an end of the year empty. So fortunately, because I make videos, I'll keep this on hand. Now I will open up the little tube and just put a bit of the product onto my finger. Okay, and it comes out really nicely, so it's not one of those ones that just blasts across when you're just trying to get a little bit on your finger. So this would be the color of it there. And it said to dot it onto the spots where you want to cover up, so good luck to me, right? And then just pat them in. So we'll see what happens here. Let's start off with that bad boy right there. And we are going to have to use a lot more product than this, but interesting kind of texture. It's quite thick. I'm gonna have to take my glasses off here, but it's quite thick. It's not quite a clay-like texture, but it's almost to there. If it was a little bit thicker and pastier, it would be at almost like a clay-like, but not unpleasantly. That's why I kind of hesitated to use the word clay, is because that sounds kind of but but it's quite thick, so you can see that it is meant for a heavy coverage and to stay in place. So I think I have enough product on my face, and the little cap tried to escape, but I got it. But yeah, so now it says to pat this in, so I'm just gonna go over, I guess, with my finger. Normally I would use like a blending sponge like this, but it didn't say to use a sponge or anything, and I don't want to have like something take off the product. So I'm just going to try and do it, pat it with my finger like it kind of suggests on the box. And for the first use, we'll see what happens. We'll see what I learned from it from the first use, because maybe in the future I'll just use the beauty blender or the blending sponge anyway, but for now we'll just try and do what it says. It blends out a lot more than I thought it would, so I might have a ton of it on my face, but that's okay. That actually comes out quite evenly of coverage. I hope this is how green it's supposed to be and that I didn't go completely overboard. But I can't figure out how I could have put on less, because that was a teensy amount of product that I just sort of dotted everywhere. But it spreads really, really nicely and evenly, even with just all I'm using is my fingertip, and I'm only just using one. But yeah, but well, we'll keep going and see how it goes. Feel like I was able to get as even coverage on the second side as I was on the first, and that's, I think, because I was working against it drying. I probably should have done like one cheek and then patted it all in, and then done the other one and patted it all in, because it really has dried. Like, this is it's almost come down to a satiny sort of finish now, and it hasn't come off on my other fingers. This is the one I was working with in the first place. But yeah, no, but I still feel like that was a really nice coverage. It definitely covered up all the red. I mean, obviously I can't go like this, but it did flat out say that you have to put on foundation on top of this. So we'll see if my foundation will cover all this green, or if I'm going to have a kind of murky, muddy looking, uneven face. I think what I'm going to do, I do have the Physicians Formula Mineral Wear Mineral Loose Powder. And I usually can wear this just as a foundation, but I'm thinking it's going to need a little bit more like an actual liquid foundation and then the powder on top, because it did say use a foundation and then a powder to finish. So I think I don't have a liquid foundation from Physicians Formula, but I do have liquid foundation, so I think I'm just going to use a regular run-of-the-mill liquid foundation. This one is from CoverGirl. I've used it in past videos, so I'm just going to throw that one on, and then I'll use the Physicians Formula powder on top. This is not a heavy coverage. This is just the mid coverage product. I actually really like it. It doesn't irritate my skin. This is the sensitive skin one in the color 205 Ivory. Getting a good feeling about this. The green is showing through quite a lot. I'm gonna do my best to cover it up with the liquid foundation and then go over top of it with the powder foundation, but I feel like I look even ghostier than I normally do, and this is not covering the green very well, so maybe things will turn around. Well, so far, I'm not very pleased with this. It looks like I'm wearing white paint with a green tinge to it, so that maybe I'm feeling really, really sick today. This is really not the kind of result I would normally go for. But I will try some powder on top of that now, and we can just hope that it will cover that all up. So I will try the Physician, to be fair, that was not a Physicians Formula product like it did recommend, but I mean, it was a regular foundation and I've never had any problems with that before. So now we'll try the mineral powder on top. This one is Physicians Formula. And I just noticed that I'm running out of my SD card on this camera, so I'm just gonna go run and grab another one, and I will be right back. Okay, we're back with a new memory card in. I feel like I've brought the color out, I've made it kind of more skin tone for me again. I've stopped making it kind of green anymore. So that's kind of promising. Maybe I was too heavy-handed with the green. I don't know how I could have used less of it and still spread it the way that it needed to be spread. Maybe it's not meant to be used over very large areas, but it did say rosacea, so I'm thinking it has to have had to be able to go over some span of area of your skin, but I feel like I've covered it. I feel like the green though has made my normal foundation look really, really pale next to the way that it normally is, and I normally am white and ghostly, but this is a little bit much. I'll try throwing on a little bit of blush and I'll see if that will fix things up a little bit. I might start off with like a little bit of a brownier blush and just go over my whole face a little bit as though I'm applying some sort of bronzer or something. I don't have a bronzer. I've never used bronzer before. The only time I've ever sampled it, it just made me look really strange and orangey, so I haven't really used it, but I'll start off by doing a little bit of a shade like this. I'll go really light-handed and start with my cheeks and then work over my whole face just to give a layer so that it looks something like, my face looks something like the rest of my body. I look so tan next to my face and I'm not tan. I feel like I've made my face look a little bit more like it belongs to the rest of my body. So what I'll do now is just apply a little bit of blush like I normally would, just because this whole single color thing just doesn't work. But yeah, and I might just finish off the look. Since I've put this much makeup on already, I may as well finish off the look. And since I'm heading out anyway, I would have put on makeup, so look at that, it's also a makeup application video and not just testing this out. What'd I do with my, there we are, found my glasses. So, well, I guess that's not too bad. I thought this was going to be a complete and utter disaster, based on how white my face came out. I did have to do some correcting activity based on, like, to darken down my foundation. I did find that this really did make my foundation a lot lighter than it normally would be because it looked like white face paint. I could have done clown makeup on top or Harley Quinn or something like that. But yeah, no, but I was just with a little bit of darker blush, I was able to just take the look down a shade a little bit and make it look a little bit more like me. I don't know if you can tell or if I'll be able to tell when I see this on a bigger screen. I just keep looking on the camera screen. If I've actually managed to match it with the rest of me, at least I don't look like I have a really huge tan now compared to my face. But it definitely did, I mean, it covered the redness. Any pink on my face now is from the blush. The one thing that I did notice, and I wanted to point this out because you've asked me about this before, and I've never really paid too much attention to it before, is about big pores. I have large pores, especially in this area right here, kind of next to my nose and then across a little bit of the top under my eyes, not all the way along, but just in the kind of this area. I definitely have large pores. I didn't focus this on that area, but on the areas where I did really put the largest amount of this, it really did make a much smoother finish. So I'm kind of impressed with that. I'm kind of wishing that I had gone in closer to the edges of my nose here because it did sort of fill everything in while taking the redness down. I'm hoping this won't cause any irritation because I will use it again now that I know what I'm doing with the correcting the color from the color corrector. But yeah, so while I do feel that there's a bit of a learning curve and you have to kind of be a little bit adventurous with which powders you're going to put on your face, and this definitely needs layers on top and not just a liquid foundation, you need to go on top, on top, on top with it. I'm impressed with this. I will use it, especially on days where I felt, I mean, you saw how red my face was, and that's not bad at all. And the big old pimple that I have, it's covered up completely. It's just texture now. You can see that it's a lump, but I mean, it's not going to be able to do anything about that. Yeah, in terms of color correction, nice job. Much more impressed now than I thought I was going to be about halfway through. Possibly Physicians Formula, their regular liquid foundation, gives a bigger coverage than the CoverGirl one that I used. I've been happy with that covering green before. So, but then again, this is a more intense green, but I like the texture. I like the finish that was left over, and with enough layers, I was able to cover it up. If I have any problems with it, I am going to leave it on for quite some time. So if I have any problems with it, I will definitely make note of it in the description below or somewhere on screen so that I can tell you about that. But hopefully I won't, and hopefully it will sit nicely and it won't, you know, cake or separate or do any of those fun things that makeup likes to do. And we'll have discovered something that can work. So this was the Conceal RX Physician Strength Concealer by Physicians Formula. But I hope you liked this video. I hope it was entertaining in some way. I hope it was informative. I hope it helped you to let you know whether or not you'd like to try out that product. If you do like videos like this one, I hope you'll give me a thumbs up, and that way I will know. And if you want to see more videos like this where I test out products, cosmetics, skincare, that kind of thing for my rosacea, I hope you will subscribe to my channel. I make new videos every Sunday and most Thursdays. And other than that, I will see you next time.